Hey creator, do you want to learn how to add music to your Instagram posts and not be blocked? Now we're venturing into the blackness. My name is Corzine. I'm your YouTube lawyer. I have read and researched all the copyright rules for Instagram, and I am ready to give you the 5 Instagram copyright rules for music. Use these rules and your Instagram posts won't be blocked. All right, let's hit this. Rule number 1, you can only post music to Instagram if it doesn't violate intellectual property rules. Stop. Take that in. Before you do your next post to Instagram, ask yourself the question, am I violating someone else's intellectual property rights? And you may have this question also, what is intellectual property? Intellectual property is something that you create with your own brain that also has commercial value. It's not an idea, you can't copyright an idea, but it's something that you think about, that you create, that you spend time on, that you can fix in a tangible form. You know, like a YouTube video that you make, like a song that you sing, or like lyrics that you write. To avoid getting your Instagram post blocked, always think before you post, wait a minute, am I using something someone created with their own brain and I don't have permission for that? If it's something that you created, then you're ready for rule number 2. Rule number 2 says that if you created the music that you're gonna put in your Instagram post, then you need to protect it. The best way to protect it is to make sure and write it down, record it in some manner, whether it be on a thumb drive, a hard drive, or a CD, fix it into tangible form, and then go to your country's copyright office via the internet. In America, we have copyright.gov. You can go on this website and you can find the performing arts section, click on that, register your song in the database. It usually costs about $35 or so, and that way you can protect your song from other people who want to take it and use it for commercial purposes. But how are you protecting it for Instagram purposes? Well, if you register your song in your country's copyright office, then you have clear proof. You have evidence that you are the copyright holder of the song. Eventually, after about 6 months or so, when the application is processed and accepted, then you'll get a hard copy certification of your copyright for that music that you chose to register. You can use this hard copy to verify that you are the copyright holder to Instagram and make sure that Instagram takes down any unauthorized uses of your music on Instagram. And worst case, with a registered copyright, you can bring someone to court. If they have taken your song, you could absolutely bring a lawsuit against them for copyright infringement and recover up to $150,000 for each violation of your copyright and collect the attorney's fees it takes to prosecute the action. So it's a very good idea that if you want to post your own music to Instagram, the music you created, that you register it in your country's copyright office. If you own the music, you've got to protect the music. If you don't, then let's go to rule number 3. Rule number 3 says you can only use someone else's music, someone else's content in your Instagram post if you get permission. And permission doesn't have to be formal. You could just talk to someone and get their oral permission to be able to use a song in your Instagram post. I always advise that you confirm that oral permission in writing with an email, a text, or a letter just saying, listen, this hereby confirms that you've given me authorization to use your song, name the song, name the title, name the group in your Instagram video. And that way you're doubly protected if there's ever a question about whether or not you have permission to use that song in your Instagram post. But permission can also be formal. For example, I use the royalty-free music streaming service epidemic.com. And in that agreement, I pay them a certain amount of money each month. In exchange for that, they give me the license. They give me the written agreement to be able to use their music in my videos and not get blocked, not get copyright strikes. Here's an example of a video and music post I made to Instagram with an Epidemic license. Watch. We can't believe how much destruction there is out here. Pretty disastrous. This is I'm able to use this song because Epidemic.com gave me permission when I signed up for their service to use this song and other songs in my Instagram videos. So if you have permission from the copyright holder or a license from a music royalty-free website, then you can use that music in your Instagram post. What I like to do to be doubly sure in case Instagram has a problem with the music I put in my post is I give credit to the original copyright holder in the post itself. So I put the name of the song, the artist, the year, sometimes the music publisher in that actual post. And that way, if Instagram ever comes back to me and says, hey, do you have permission or do you have a license to use that music in your post? It's right there in that post. They can find that and then be sure that I have permission to post this music to my Instagram account. If you don't have permission or a license to use the music that you want to put on Instagram, then you got to go to rule number 4. On Instagram, in the Instagram terms and conditions, you can use music that someone else created and that you don't have a right to, you weren't granted permission or a license to use, if you comply with the doctrine of fair use. Fair use is a right that most countries recognize as fundamental. We have a right to create. We have a First Amendment right to give free speech. And judges don't want to stifle our creativity. And so they created this rule, this doctrine called fair use, which allows us to use the art, the copyrighted art, music, video, literary works of others without their permission if we transform that art and make it our own. How do you transform copyrighted music that you want to put on Instagram? Well, you have to make modifications, alterations. You have to make the original music barely recognizable in your own art. Here's an example of an Instagram post that I made of my ski and snowboarding trip that demonstrates the principles of fair use. Listen to the music of that video carefully. Most of the music I wrote and performed. However, some of it, that guitar part, I interpolated. Interpolation is where you re-record, you add sounds, you add instrumentation, you change the timing. You make sure that the art is sufficiently modified so it's your own art, your own music. In this case, I sufficiently interpolated. I transformed the original copyright holder's guitar sounds so that I did not get blocked on Instagram. I did not receive a copyright strike. The lesson here is that rule number 4, fair use, is hard to qualify for on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. It is a difficult walk to walk. However, if you work hard and you listen to our discussions about fair use and learn certain techniques by watching videos or other Instagram posts, you can use the fair use doctrine. It's right there in Instagram's terms and conditions. You can use the fair use rule to be able to qualify and have music on your Instagram posts and not get blocked. Rule number 5 is that posting other people's art, other people's music onto Instagram requires either permission or the fair use exception. There are no other ways to get copyrighted content onto your Instagram account and not get blocked. The original copyright holder to the music that you want to post to Instagram has the sole right to make copies of his music and to make other art that's derived from his music. The only time you get to be involved in that is if 1, you get permission, or 2, you can qualify for fair use. So in this particular case, giving credit in the post for music that you want to use in your Instagram post is a good idea, but it doesn't get you around the copyright infringement hurdle. And worse, it jeopardizes your Instagram account. So don't do it. Are you feeling like you need more information on Instagram copyright issues? Well, if so, you're in luck. I've made a whole bunch of videos discussing all the different copyright rules for Instagram. You can start watching those videos by watching right here. If you're new to the channel, come join us, the Copyright Squad. One of the viewers said that a copyright club is probably a better name for our group. But listen, I like the Copyright Squad, so we're sticking with the Copyright Squad. Hit the like button, consider subscribing, and join us on Discord. There's a link to the Discord server in the description section below. All right, that's enough for today. We'll see you next time.